wanted to document because I just tried out my first ever Healy scan using the Epic Healy device, which is all about using energy and frequency to heal our bodies across all different bodies. And when I say that, I mean it might be immune function, it might be your sleep, it might be mind, focus and clarity, it might be endurance, it might be recovery, it might be wound healing, it might be like your meridians and your chakras and your vibe, it might be your mental health. So this device purports, is that the word, to be magical in all the ways, and because my body is a bit wonky in all the ways right now, it's the perfect place and time to trial it. So I did my first ever scan. It came up with the top 5 programs, Healy programs, that are needed to give me the optimal benefits for my body in this moment. An idea of what is currently going on for me. I've had terrible sleep. I've been taking hours and hours and hours to get to sleep at night. I've been waking up for 3-4 hours in the middle of the night, and then having to get up at 8:30, so getting like 2 hours sleep in patches, which is very unlike me. My immune system's really run down. I've had a sore throat, an epic wound on my elbow that's taking a really long time to heal from a scooter accident in Bali, and it's like an open wound that I'm having dressed every 3 days or so that's a thing. And my parasympathetic and sympathetic nervous systems are kaput, meaning that my brake on my car, so the rest and digest and the recovery side of it, is a bit broken, so it's not working optimally, and also my accelerator, so my like get up and go and my oomph is also not working. So I've got that going on. As a consequence, my mental health has been really, really low. I've had no passion for life, for purpose, for getting stuff done. Feels a little bit like my soul has kind of lost its zest for life. And if you know me, I'm very zesty generally. So why I want to share with you these things is just to give you like a before of what's been going on and what my current reality is. And then the Healy has pulled up 5 programs. The mental balance program is the top priority, the gold cycle, the meridian program, 2 of those, and a sleep program. Surprise, surprise, not surprised. But yeah, I'm going to run those programs and just see what happens. And so it's an hour maybe after I've been attached to this Healy most of the day. Holy shit. Whoa. Oh my god. So I feel like I'm high, like I've smoked a lot of drugs. I haven't, but I've been running some programs from the Healy. It's next level. The first thing I have to say is I might have manifested a house to live while I was hooked up, and my vibration completely changed, my mood changed, my emotions changed. I feel like I can conquer the world. It's actually insane. This is really unexpected as well. So that was my first experience of the Healy, and it blew my mind. It absolutely blew my mind. Like, the whole experience was so next level different to what I was feeling pre-Healy. It just was so something that couldn't be denied at all. Like, if I started my day here, the end of the day I felt like I'd taken drugs. I was like high as a kite, probably not legal to drive, had no substances in my body, just on the Healy effect vibe. Halfway through the day on the uphill, I remember like manifesting a house, talking to the guy on video, jumping on a video call with his housemates who I'd never met in my life, and being like, all like, oh my god, I love you guys. And they were like, oh my god, I love you too. And just my energy and my mental and emotional health and my state from running those programs. Like, I would have not jumped on a video call with those people that I hadn't met before if I hadn't shifted my state from that Healy experience, which just happened, which I wasn't expecting. So that was insane, absolutely insane. So the mental and emotional health effects of it alone, of the Healy alone, were just like, yeah, mind-blowing. And as a highly sensitive, empathic person, as you might know, we're really impacted by emotions, where our mental health is then affected by how our emotional health is, and life can sometimes be a struggle. So to have access to something that can alter that or modulate that and really support us in everything else because of that is epic. The second thing I want to share with you is the buy-in that I got from this video.
What we have here is we have a lot of red blood cells that are stacked together in a formation called rouleau, where there's very poor circulation, very poor oxygen CO2 exchange. The red blood cells should be visible and separate like this one right here. Instead, they're stacked up, and there's multiple causes of that, including dehydration, poor digestion of protein, excess carbohydrates in the blood, sugars too high in the blood, and overall a low negative charge in the blood, where the potential, the zeta potential in the cells has been diminished, so cells just clump. Also, we have a lot of inflammation in the background. So you can see the sort of spider web formation in the background. That's inflammation. That can be caused by injury to the tissues. It can be caused by stress. It can be caused by liver not working properly and filtering the blood. Multiple causes of that too. Here we can see a very small white blood cell, actually. In the case of this blood sample, the person's white blood cells were too small. You can see this one here too. They should be 2 or 3 times the size of the red cells, and they're about maybe 1.5 times the size of a red cell. So they're not in ideal shape. So this is the picture of a sample of blood I looked at within the last week. So after that last sample of blood we looked at, the person did a 1-hour treatment with a frequency device called a Healy, which sends microcurrent and specific frequencies into the person's body, and that was 60 minutes. It was on a program called Immune System. So immediately after that treatment, I looked at her blood, and this is what we saw. It was about 50% of the blood improved. So instead of being stacked up, the red blood cells, you can see them here, they're separate. They actually can exchange CO2 for oxygen now. They can actually get the job done, what they need to be done. Interestingly also, her white blood cells were bigger, and the program she ran was Immune System. The white blood cells here, you can see, are about 2 times the size of the red cells. There's another white blood cell, more in the correct size. Some of the inflammation is gone too. The background doesn't have all that spider web type fibrin in the background. Let me run the video here a little bit. You can see, overall, the blood is a lot better. I would say it's a good 50% better in terms of the viscosity of the blood. The blood cells are actually moving. They're not all clumped. So essentially what happened is that we increased a lot of negative charge into the blood. And that negative charge helps the cells separate from each other. So they have more of a surface area to get oxygen. And they have a lot more flow and movement of nutrients and energy through her body. And that's what her blood looked like literally 1 hour after the first sample, after she did a 1-hour treatment on Immune System.
So why that video is important to me is because 2 years ago, so I'm in New Zealand, I flew to Australia to see a specific health practitioner because I have MS, multiple sclerosis. So I do all the things to stay symptom free. I eat a certain way to keep inflammation down in my body. I meditate, I do breath work, I do cold exposure or the Wim Hof method and ice baths. I do so many things to keep my health epic. However, I still work with practitioners, I take supplements, and I will always for the rest of my life need to do this. So on my health journey 2 years ago, I found a health practitioner who had a live blood comparison analysis on Instagram, and that's how I saw her. Her live blood analysis was literally like that video you just saw, the before was, with all the red blood cells clumped together, overlapping like that. And then the after was literally what you just saw on that Healy video. And this person had worked with her and done a protocol over like 4 months or whatever. So I flew to a frickin' another country to see the specific health practitioner. She pricked my finger, she did a live blood analysis, she showed me my live blood on the screen, she told me about, just like that video, the inflammation in my blood. She told me about my leaky blood-brain barrier. She told me about what my blood cells were doing, etc., etc. But I spent like thousands of dollars I took supplements and did this whole massive protocol for a long time, and a lot of effort and a lot of money on all the food. And as you guys know, if health is your thing, like it's constant. It's like an uphill battle sometimes. And sometimes we get really freaking tired of kind of having to do that to keep ourselves well. And when I saw that Healy video, the one I just showed you of the live blood analysis, I was like, holy heck, like if the Healy can do that, and I can run an immune program once a week, once a month, whatever, and I know that at a cellular level, and that's the thing, like with a disease, an autoimmune disease, and a disease such as multiple sclerosis, like it impacts, like any disease, it impacts my cells and how to support myself with that disease. It's about working at the cellular level, and that's what I target when I'm eating a certain way. And that's what the Healy is targeting, is the cellular energy. Like how freaking cool is that? Like protecting and rebalancing or bringing into homeostasis through a freaking device that we can have at home. Like, what the heck? We can just run programs whenever we need to. Like, that shit blows my mind. I don't know about you, but it blows my mind. And so that's kind of my personal experience so far of the Healy, and there's many, many others I'd love to share with you, but that's a beautiful start. Thank you for listening.